Hello everyone, my name is George Zaidan, and today I will be showcasing my project based on the tutorial stage of Dying Light within Unreal Engine. In this project, the act of blocking was used to create every single asset, from the first building shown, the second building, and the crane which is used to travel between the two. Traversable blocks are also used within the creation process to allow the character you play to grab onto ledges and climb to areas needed to progress. The many sections that have been blocked out can affect the gameplay shown later on through the mass amounts of objects being used to create the map. This can cause initial lag and possible lag later on in different areas if they start to load. Other than performance, the different areas are blocked out to cause the player to think of where they must go to obtain the objective as they play throughout the game. Since this is depicted on the tutorial of Dying Light, this project certainly fits the theme of the game, as it is a parkour-based system, which players must learn how to use to progress throughout the game. Some areas have high stakes too if you miss a jump, therefore giving you a small sense of thrill to the player. Even though the tutorial consists of two massive skyscrapers and a crane you must travel on, there isn't a reason why this should be a way to fill in space. This really shows the size of many places you will discover, and you will have to maneuver between to accomplish goals. This can be seen clearly with a stage being this size for just a tutorial. All areas of this build are used for scenery and are used to give an idea of what the game will hold for the player later on. The philosophy behind the design of the tutorial in Dying Light is to give the player a perspective on the gameplay and the challenges that they will have to face in future events that will occur. It shows the massive stakes that the player will have to take, exploring what dangers may occur, whether it's a dangerous drop or a long jump that seems almost impossible to make. This tutorial teaches the player many skills they will have to use to overcome obstacles, whether it's to climb on top of objects, make large jumps across long distances, and being efficient with vaults and hops. This project contains several puzzles which can be seen in areas such as the construction zone, which has no floor and small ledges, which you have to go through without falling to complete the objective. Other puzzles can be seen as the elevator shaft, where you will have to climb onto taller objects to jump through a door to the next level. Or the stairs, where you must make a high jump to get onto the next level as well. The strategy for the construction zone is to use the thick beams to get a high vision of where you need to go. The platforms to walk on can be seen, as well as broken ledges that are popping out of the walls. The next puzzle has broken stairs on the ground that can be climbed on to get a higher reach to the top of where the stairs should be, allowing the player to climb onto the next level. The elevator shaft has an object which can be climbed to gain a higher ground, which you can use to jump onto the door's ledge, allowing the player to climb it. The player starts out on the taller building where the crane beam is set on, after crashing into the building. The crane is used to travel across to the second building where the body of the crane is set. The second building is a construction zone with props and tools misplaced everywhere as the construction is incomplete. There are 4 levels to the second building which the player must get through to finish the tutorial. The player must parkour on top of the first building and jump on the crane's beam to run across to the second building. From there, the player must jump from a great height down to the 4th floor. The player then travels across the building with open walls, closed off doors, and pathways, sunlit areas, and hidden places to get through each floor. Eventually, the player will make it back to the top where the crane's body will be set, allowing the player to climb back up the crane stairs and get back across to the other building where the tutorial ends. The ideal strategy for the player is to use the climbing, vaulting, and jumping mechanic to get across each floor's obstacles. The player can use the scaffolding, steel beams, and ledges to get through to the upper floors. As I created this project, I used precise measurements for the walls, obstacles, and the climbable objects presented to the player. I wanted this redesign to be as close as I could to the initial tutorial which this is based on. The changes I made to this project from the original sketch is the size of the top of the second building, as it was difficult to stick to that size when creating other floors, which may look disorganized as we view the buildings. The reason for this change is to create an extremely similar feel to each size of the floor of the building to the original Dying Light tutorial. Assets such as the construction materials weren't applied to the level, as it would have taken too much time to implement each and every one, whether it's from panels, to boxes, to tools, scattered around the entire building. As it seems easy to recreate a level, certain projects can be difficult to recreate due to the mismeasurements, intense amount of blocking, and lack of skill to copy high-end projects.